I'd first off like to start by saying I did really enjoy this project. I enjoy film within media the most, and being able to be creative with this project with an end goal worked really well for me. Uh, and yeah, I just really enjoyed the whole creative process, thinking about what I was going to do, going through the different scenes, different ideas, going over it in my head, presenting it. I just really liked the process of it, and then the actual filming went really well. Um, as well as it didn't take too long. So yeah, I really did enjoy this project. There was some limitations though with it due to coronavirus restrictions. We weren't in college, so we weren't able to access the equipment we would usually access. So like the cameras, the sound equipment, the software in school. We obviously we weren't at campus, so we couldn't access that. There was also the lack of actors and crew that I could have used for the video, like the help and stuff. But that's just something we tackled when we were there. I didn't end up needing that many people to help me with the video in the end, but you know, maybe in a different circumstance it could have helped having a few more people. There's also a limitation on travel, so I wasn't able to go to as many places as maybe I would have planned to go to initially. But I was able to take one day out and go to Hereford itself and actually film through Hereford, which is really key to my video, which I was happy about. And there's also there was a lot of people around when I went to actual Hereford, which is not much I could do about it, because obviously I'm not exactly a big corporation, so I can't just section areas of the public off. I can't do that. But yeah, there's not much I can do about that. But you will see a few people in the background of the shots of the video. But yeah, it's kind of beyond my control. So I'll just go through the things that I found positive about the video first. So first of all, I really liked the way I decided to change it to slow motion. I think initially I wasn't planning to do that. It was going to be more of a sort of short film, but then looking over the ideas, I didn't think that would work for an advert. It just wouldn't come across the way that I would hope, especially with the genre. So I thought slow motion, make it, you know, atmospheric, quite inspirational, and almost tap into the emotions that you. It kind of I feel like it captures the mood more if it's slowed down, along with the music that I used. It worked really well in the end. The slogan I used, where I used "This is" for the captions, I thought that worked really well because it kind of gave consistency throughout the video. I wasn't, you know, it wasn't just what I was initially planning to do was a poem or sort of a rhyming structure for the video, and I don't think that would have translated as well as I hoped it would have. I mean, the transitions I was hoping to. I think it would have been too much if I had like rhyming stuff. It just, with the slogan "This is," then one word or a few words afterwards. It kept it simple. It kept it straight to the point. Like I said, without I wanted to narrate it over it, and yeah, that would have just not worked. I wanted to narrate it in a rhythmic, sort of rhyming way, but it just wouldn't have worked. It would have been too much. It would have been too heavy. Yeah, it just overcomplicated the video. And yeah, the video includes everything that I initially went for, pretty much. I did shots about Hereford itself, the kind of cities, the places you can access around Hereford, and the countryside, the scenic views of Hereford. We did a few shots in a forest in the Herefordshire area. That worked really well, really nice. And yeah, that's what I wanted to capture. I wanted to capture just the simple, accessible places in the area for the families that could possibly be moving here. Yeah, that's pretty much the positives. I was initially planning to have more shots inside the house, because I did a couple of shots within the house, and I just didn't think that was going to work, because obviously I had the initial idea to plan for a short film, but with the more shots in the house, it's not showing the environment that they're going to be in, because it's not showing the Hereford itself, the wildlife around, things like that. So yeah, I decided to minimalize the amount of shots I'd use in the house in the end. I'll go into the negatives. So there was a lot of things that I did actually end up changing from my initial plan. These include more shots inside the house. I also initially planned to do every scene was transitioning to the next, and that it just didn't work out. Yeah, I didn't get the angles right when filming. I think I rushed it too much, and then when it came to editing, it wasn't the way I envisioned it, because the angle of the camera was different, or the objects I was using to transition were just completely different, so it didn't work. So I ended up having to pretty much cut every transition out. There was a couple of them that worked relatively well, but they could have been a lot better, could have been a lot more smooth. So yeah, I think that was the main thing that I was going for initially, and I just had to cut out. And I think that's the main thing that the video might miss. I was planning for there to be less scenes. I kind of planned for it to be the scenes to be longer and less of them. But I think the way I've done it, it works better for the style of video. And it also gets the point across better, because with these quick shots you can see different parts, and I think with only like 3 or 4 shots, you're not going to be able to see or like envisage this area better. So yeah, I mean that could be left up to opinion. Like I said, the transitions just weren't as effective as I initially planned, and that's one thing I'd definitely change. But yeah, what would I do next time? So, first of all, I'd probably have more consistency with the length of the clips, because there's lots of the clips vary a lot, like the shots, the length of them. I mean, this could work in short films a lot better, but in an advert, I think you need more consistency with the length of them, and that's one where I didn't really hit the nail on the head, because I had some scenes that were really long, and even when cutting down, they were still probably a bit too long, and it kind of just made it look inconsistent throughout. Make sure I go into planning the transitions better, because when I went to film them, they weren't angled right, so they just didn't look as good, and I had to cut them out. And maybe that would have made the video better, maybe it would have made it worse, but I didn't go with the plan, and I didn't plan the transitions correctly to effectively do them, so I ended up having to cut them out. So that's definitely something I would change, is just maybe a bit more extra planning, especially going into it, just to make sure everything is right. Maybe spend a bit more time, try not to rush things as much doing it, because I think that was another problem. I rushed them, I didn't go over the shots I had, I kind of just filmed them and then took it away, and I wasn't able to go over it and see if I'd actually done it right. And then I guess just some more professional camera, better equipment with better camera work, because sometimes it's a bit shaky, my camera work. So I was filming it on a phone, so it's not as easy to kind of keep it steady, keep it straight. But that's kind of nitpicking. That's not something I was really able to access, but if I was doing it in the future, hopefully I would have access to those sort of things. So that's something I would change, because it would just make the video seem a lot more professional. But yeah, overall I really enjoyed the project, as I said, and I would love to do more things like this in the future. Thank you.